Guys, this is Cooper's MTG back for part 2 and of reviewing our favorite mythic cards, and now we will start on the red mythics that we own.
Ding! Okay, so we start out, as you noticed, I alphabetized them, yay me. We start out with our Balefire Dragon. This is in worse condition than I remember it being.
Yeah, it's kind of beaten up, but still a pretty good card. It's from Innistrad. And it says whenever he deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to each creature that player controls. Which, a 6/6 flying, that's pretty much going to wipe your opponent's board. Definitely if he's playing a smaller creature deck. However, the problem with him is that I wish he had haste. Because then, like, your opponent taps all of their creatures, and then you're like, aha, well, I'm going to kill all your creatures. And that would be utterly ridiculous. However, I think that's why he lost a bit of value, because he didn't have haste. Definitely, if he did have haste, it would be an insane card.
Well, you know, there's, around when this came out, there were the Fleetfoot whatevers, like the winged shoes. I think it was 3 mana to get out, 1 mana to equip.
I think that was a later set, actually.
Well, if that came out during then you would have a good card.
Are you talking about the Fleetfoot sandals? Or
yes,
like
those things.
The boots. I remember there were like some boots.
There were sandals and boots, and the boots came out first, because the boots were like...
I think the boots were like M10, M11, M12, and then M13 and M14 were the sandals or whatever. I don't really know.
Why they made it change, we don't know. It's like, oh, boots. Wait, let's make it sandals. Then people will buy it.
Maybe the sandals were actually for the Theros block.
Oh, I think you're right.
All right,
okay, anyways, we're talking about shoes. We have our Bogarden Helicite for 8 mana.
It's from Knights versus Dragons, I believe. And
I want to read this one. Let me read this one.
He's shiny.
He's shiny.
He used to be worth a ton
but he
was in Time Spiral, but then they reprinted him, and I think they also reprinted him in from the Vault Dragons.
Yeah. So, as I said, he has Flash and Flying. And when he enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage, divided as you choose, among any number of target creatures and or players. Now, I must say, this is not really as good as the Balefire Dragon, because the Balefire Dragon, yeah, you have to attack, and it doesn't have haste or anything, but really, the fact that it comes out, and it can attack and deal 6 damage, and then deal 6 damage to everything else, unlike this, where it comes in, deals 5 damage divided, which can't, so it can't do it to all. I just don't think it's as good.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you there.
I know you are.
Because definitely in a red burn deck, that's a really nice card to have, because your opponent's at 5 life, you cast it, they're gone. Say your opponent has some annoying 3/5 with trample, first strike, death touch, who knows, and he's just destroying you with it, and you just cast Bogarden Helicite and wipe it out. So if you play it right, I definitely think it's a really good card to have.
Definitely. I have a question though.
Yeah.
We may have skipped this in the white video. Was Godsend a white enchantment? Because you know they have those sometimes. Let me go check that.
It was a white artifact.
Yep, there we go. We
right.
skipped something.
Well, let's review Godsend. Actually, no, we'll review it in artifacts.
Okay.
Okay, that'll be a pretty small section.
Yep, it's tiny.
Right. Our next one.
We have our Chandra, the Firebrand, which is the
Foil!
It's foil. It's from M13, and it's 4 mana.
4 mana, 3 colors, 1 red. And it's, actually, when we opened this, we opened like 3 Chandras back to back, and one of them was foil.
Yes, I remember that.
And her +1 is to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Nothing really special there. Her -2 is when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy, which can be played definitely to your advantage. And her -6 is she deals 6 damage to each of up to 6 target creatures and or players, and that's not divided among them. So that's like the Balefire Dragon, dealing 6 damage to each creature or player. And that's assuming that your opponent only has
like 6.
5 creatures.
Yeah.
And then you deal 6 damage to that player too.
Shiny.
Yeah, the art looks really good, shiny. Foil. Whatever.
Whatever you call it, we call it Chinese. And we have our Chandra Pyromaster shiny. For 4 mana again. That's 2 colorless. Even after I tell
2
myself.
colorless and 2 red.
Thank you.
And unfortunately, it's really hard to tell that it's foil. Like, you have to take a good look at it.
Yeah, let me see.
To be able to tell that it's foil.
Turn it up to the, so, here. Now you can see the light shining off it, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We had a camera check. Okay, so it's plus her plus 1 is Chandra Pyromaster deals 1 damage to target player and 1 damage to up to 1 target creature. That player controls this creature can't block this turn.
Which is much better than Chandra the Firebrand's plus 1.
This deals 1 damage to target creature or player. And then at 0 is exile the top card from your library. You may play it this turn. And that's pretty nice, because...
That's okay. I guess it's like drawing a card for red, but if you don't cast it, if you don't play it, it's exiled. But I think if you work it right, it can definitely be used to your advantage.
I burped. Okay. And it's her -7. It's exile the top 10 cards of your library. Choose an instant or sorcery card, exile this way, and copy it. 3 so long.
3
times. You may cast the copies without paying their mana cost.
So basically you get to cast a spell 4 times. And think about that with Lava Axe. And
that's you win.
Yeah, you win. That's, well, essentially you win. That's
because that would be 28 damage.
No, Lava Axe does 5 damage.
No, Lava Axe does... Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to argue.
It does 5 damage.
Fine. Sure it does.
I bet.
Moving on.
We'll bet.
We'll bet
Comment down in the
afterwards.
comment section
Yeah.
how much it does.
Yeah.
And if it's 5, I will, if it's 7, I will,
stand on your
I
head.
will eat those disgusting pina colada flavor ices that no one likes.
Oh
I'll
my
eat
God.
one of those.
And we will record it and put it on YouTube.
Alright, next one.
Alright, Comet Storm. And this is from whatever you call it.
This is from Commander.
Oh boy, man, Commander. It's like real magic, but they give you all the mythics.
It is real magic, and a lot of people really like Commander, so...
Losers. You know what?
So,
I just lost a bunch of viewers. Woo.
It's X colorless and 2 red, and it has multi-kicker for 1 colorless. And it's kind of confusing to read. It says, choose target creature or player. Then choose another target creature or player for each time Comet Storm was kicked. Comet Storm deals X damage to each of them. So if you're sitting on like 10 mana and you kick it twice and then you put in, that would be 6 mana. So you're dealing 6 damage to 2 targets.
Actually, no, I thought. Or no, I'm wrong. Sorry. I don't know how to do this. I'm not looking at the card.
So basically you could ramp it up a lot. Say you have 10 mana again, but your opponent has 7 1/1s, and you kick it 7 times, and it deals 1 damage to each of their 1/1s. It could be used in your advantage. However, I just don't think it's that strong of a card. The art is really cool though for it. I think maybe if they had, I don't know, instead of having a multi-kicker, it says you divide it up.
Or X would just be for all.
Yeah, like it deals
was...
X damage to X target creatures or players. Or maybe you'd have XX and 2 red.
Yeah. And my one question is, has there ever been a card where it's X and it's not colorless mana, like just like X over red, where you pay X red mana?
I think maybe it won't say that like in the casting cost, but it'll say like X can only be paid with black mana or something.
That'd be interesting. Moving on, we have our Inferno Titan, which was the first card you got at, what are those things called? Drafts.
A pre-release. I actually traded a Primeval Titan for it, that was a really bad decision.
Yep.
But I thought fire good.
Fire bad.
And actually it was fire bad and Primeval Titan good. He costs 4 colorless, 2 red. He's a 6/6. Pay 1 red. He gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Really basic stuff. When he enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures or players, which is pretty darn good, especially if you're like pairing him with Deadeye Navigator using Soulbound. So you just repeatedly have him entering the battlefield over and over again.
Everybody loves Deadeye Navigator.
And basically, like, say you have 10 mana, I believe Deadeye Navigator, it only costs 2 to exile it and then return to the battlefield.
Now, when your defense for trading the Primeval Titan, you were playing red.
I did play a red deck. Red Goblins. Anyway,
yes.
Go to
we have
Deadeye Navigator.
Okay, that's in like the rares. Woo, way back here. Because you like to see me turning pages. Did I pass it? No, it's right here.
It's right here.
Okay, so here's the Deadeye Navigator card. Woo, George can read it.
It has Soulbound, which is the Avacyn Restored. I believe it was an Avacyn Restored that it really
They need to bring Soulbound back.
And it says if he's paired with another target creature, each of them have pay 1 colorless, 1 blue, exile this card, and return it to the battlefield under your control, which, as I just told you, would be ridiculous, dealing like 15 damage a turn just from Inferno Titan entering the battlefield. Definitely a really ridiculous card.
Turning pages.
All the way back.
Turning pages for days. And Koth of the Hammer, which we got Koth versus Venser. Is that what it is? Let me check his name.
Yeah, I think it is Koth versus Venser.
Yes. Koth of the Hammer. It sounds like one of the 7. No, not 7. Yes, one of the 7.
I might have also gotten that one in Holland, or maybe I got it in Finland.
No, you didn't. We got it at Target.
Oh, we got it at Target.
Got it. No, we got it at Target.
And he's shiny.
Yes, he is shiny. I actually really like his shiny art because his hands fiery shiny.
I actually think this is a garbage Planeswalker. It makes me want to throw up.
A lot of things make you want to throw up. Like picking up the cat poop. That makes me want to throw up. It's all squishy. And then it seeps through the... Okay, I'll stop. Sorry. Okay. 4 mana. Its +1 ability is untap target, red mana. It becomes a 4/4 red elemental creature until end of turn. It's still land. And that's really not that good unless you have like a haste. Like creatures you control have haste, and then it would be good, but you know.
Well, what if you've already put that mountain onto play and like you tap it to cast him, and then you're like, okay, well now he's out there. I need a blocker, so I'm gonna give myself a 4/4.
Yeah, it is true. I just did like.
But unfortunately, it's until end of turn. I really would have liked it like target mountain, maybe even if it just became like a 1/1.
That'd be okay.
But it's still a land.
Like the enchantment card that's now in Conspiracy, where you get your 2/6 for 3 mana land.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty good. Okay, so its -2 is add a red mana to your mana pool for each mountain you control, and that's good.
Why is red playing mana ramp?
Yeah, like unless you're playing blue and red, then it kind of makes sense. Or blue or red.
But you're adding red to your mana pool. You're not adding blue to your mana pool.
Or red and green, maybe, because
I guess maybe if you're casting Volcanic Geyser or something, but really, when has red ever played mana ramp? Kind of ridiculous. That's why it makes me sad. And
then it's -5. You get emblem with mountains you control have tap. This land deals 1 damage to target creature or player. And that's okay. That's okay for a burn deck. I mean,
that's where I could see maybe his -2 or something would be like, go get 3 mountains and put them on
if that
the
was his -2, then that would be a great thing. But no, it's like, it's +1 to search your library for a red card.
like his abilities are all totally unrelated. Like his +1 is to get a creature, his -2 is to get mana, and his
here's how it would be good. I know I'm interrupting, but listen. So his +1 would be search your library for a mountain card and put it into your hand. His -2 or -3 maybe, because it would be pretty good like that. Put a untap target mountain. It becomes a 2/2 red elemental creature. Not until end of turn, just becomes a 2.
I think it could, if it's a minus ability, it could just be a 4/4.
Okay,
Especially,
yeah.
maybe if his ultimate was like, you get an emblem with mountains you control or 4/4 red elemental creatures.
That on itself would be good. Like,
Yeah.
just an enchantment that would do that. I could see that being a mythic.
Unfortunately, it's just this disgusting thing that we're gonna put back in the binder
Look at
now.
him. He's so hideous.
But he is shiny, so.
He is shiny. He's shiny. And coolest dragon ever, in my opinion. Look how cool it is. It's so pretty. A Moonveil dragon. I pronounced it right, correct?
As far as I know, unless it's like Moonveil dragon or something.
Yeah.
He's the basic. This card's just meh. Flying, 1 red mana. Each creature. Never mind.
Never mind.
Each creature, 1 red mana. Each creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. That's pretty ridiculous.
That's like, I know they don't print anymore, and I'm sad about it. But if you had a red and green deck and you cast like Trample or Overrun or whatever it was, where target creature you control.
I think that was Overrun.
Okay, it was Overrun. Well,
Or no. Maybe it was like the something Stampede.
It was Overrun.
No, Overrun gave him +3/+3.
Yeah, and
like,
Trample. +3/+3 and Trample. That's
but the other one gave you like +X/+X, which is Overwhelming Stampede. Give you +X/+X,
I
where
remember
X is
that.
the highest power among creatures you control.
That's what I used in my build-up deck.
But I definitely think that using that ability, it costs 6 mana to get out there, and you're attacking with an additional 6 power every single combat, or you're blocking with an additional 6 power every single combat, which is utterly ridiculous. Especially, I guess that's where you could maybe pair it with Koth, where you add all that mana to your mana pool, and
Then it would be good.
then you have like a
like if these
20
were
+20/+0 until end of turn.
Yeah. And then here's one of the cool, and plus this card just looks cool.
Yeah, it looks
It looks
pretty.
it
It's
looks
pretty
awesome.
cool.
Then we have Furfrou, God of the
Furfrou.
Sorry, it says Furfrou. You know what? I'm not even gonna try pronouncing it anymore.
6/5 for 4 mana.
And-
Unfortunately, he's not immediately creature unless your devotion to red is 5 or greater. Good thing, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, he deals 2 damage to each opponent. And then you see this creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn, but it's for 3 mana this time.
That would work out pretty well with Elspeth, where your +1 is put a 1/1 white soldier, because you put in
Well,
the 1/1.
no. The newer Elspeth, you put in 3. And
Oh,
that's
that
6
would be
damage.
even better. The newer.
Or again with Deadeye Navigator, you keep pumping Inferno Titan out, and you pump him out 5 times. That's like
That's what we're doing.
25 damage, which is utterly ridiculous in 1 turn, and you haven't even attacked anyone.
And then we have our first mythic from Theros, I believe. This one, the Stormbreath Dragon, I believe.
And
It was either that or Helioid.
I definitely like this card better than Helioid.
Helioid's crap. No one wants Helioid. We should burn him at the
3
end.
colorless, 2 red, flying, haste, protection from white, and when it becomes monstrous, it deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of cards in that player's hand, which is nothing really that special, especially because I guess you'd cast them on turn 5, so maybe 2 or 3 cards in their hand. You make a monstrous on turn 7, but then you do have a 7/7 flyer with protection from white. Unfortunately,
It's only white.
It's only white. Maybe if it were like, I don't know, maybe if you had an ability to boost him up, or
That cloak thing where it's like you land walk for everything.
I don't like dealing damage equal to the cards in their hand, unless you're like really playing like a mill deck where they're really drawing cards, it's really not going to be that good. Like really 3 or 4 damage at the most when he becomes monstrous. Does it say in each player that each creature that player controls?
When it deals damage, opponent equal to the number.
It's just opponent. It's not each creature.
Deals damage to each opponent.
I guess maybe if we're playing in a multiplayer setting.
Like that's what Conspiracy's all about because they have the Hydra.
Or like you're playing Commander EDH, whatever. I don't actually know what that is, but it sounds interesting.
We know what we're talking about. We're professionals. Totally. So we have Urabrask the Hidden. I pronounced
this is like one of the first mythics that I ever got.
We lost all the rest.